I have created a brand new Battle.net account with 0 achievements, and together we'll try to collect every badge Blizzard has hidden across Azeroth. Welcome to the very first episode of
WoW AAA, World of Warcraft Achievement Acquisition Action.
The achievement system was introduced in Wrath of the Lich King, WoW's second expansion, and with midnight on the horizon we are looking at 11 expansions with a whole lot of achievements and many complicated and quirky systems, but I'm here for it. The achievements vary in difficulty and quantity. For example, there are several achievements you earn on the fly whilst leveling, like complete 10 quests or reach level 10, but also ones that require you to clear the currently hardest endgame raid on the hardest difficulty. Why do achievements matter? Well, to me they are a nice collectible and a fun way to play the game, away from doing the same dungeons over and over again in pursuit of better mythic plus times and so on and so forth, you know the drill. For me, this is a fun challenge to see how far can I push my achievement points. I hope you take along for the ride. As class race combo to start us off, I chose the Night Elf Druid because of the instant use travel form and the generally increased movement speed, since we will have to travel a lot. And this is just convenient. Meet
Wine Shadow.
I also discussed doing a Worgen Druid or maybe a Horde Druid, but I then settled for the classic, the Night Elf Druid. I also chose to go with an Alliance character since this series is heavily inspired by Dave Lastname's Achive-ALot series, and he chose to go for the Horde side of things, and I want to offer a bit of variation, a bit of a different perspective. Also, his videos are linked in the description. Just another quick heads up while you're watching me spending way too much time on the character creation. English isn't my first language, so if you hear any funny mispronunciations, feel free to log with me, not at me, and feel free to tell me what I can improve on, language-wise and gameplay-wise. Alright, let's hit enter world and see what Exalt's Reach has in store. For some reason I do not understand, I immediately got greeted with the Flying Colors achievement, which should only be obtained for defeating Brun's Delver's Race, whatever that is, but since it's a feat of strength, it doesn't contribute to our achievement points. Still, quite weird. Exalt's Reach is a beautiful guided tutorial zone aimed at new players, teaching them the ropes and what to do. While questing through the zone, we got a handful of first step achievements. Represent for collecting our first tablet, level 10, well, for reaching level 10, Fast and Furious for obtaining the riding skill, which you nowadays get when reaching level 10, which is a nice convenient change. Exalt's Reach for completing the starting zone, Exalt's Reach. After reaching Stormwind, we got our first riding mount, the Golden Griffin. We need to collect many of these down the road for some more achievements. I also pick up the basic professions here, fishing, cooking, skinning and herbalism. I will learn other professions on alts, but on this one, these will do. Fishing and cooking especially will contribute a good amount to our achievement points, since they offer achievements themselves and also force us to do daily quests, which then again contribute to the achievements. Once the professions were learned, we headed to the pond for the first fishing quest. Reeling a few fish and the daily is as good as done. Since we already gained some achievements at this point, let's quickly talk about the goals for this episode. For this episode, I'm aiming to finish Exalt's Reach, done, and also Elven Forest. Furthermore, get some cooking, fishing, pet battles and leveling achievements, and with that, lay the groundwork for what's to come. After the profession daily quests, I set the chroming time to Cataclysm, since I wanted to start the series off by questing in the older zones in the Easter Kingdom, which are classified as Cataclysm zones, since they were destroyed story-wise and ruined gameplay-wise in the Cataclysm expansion. I also helped out a child by collecting balloons for it, and then it flew off into the sky. WoW humor at its finest. By doing this quest we also got our first pet, an Alliance balloon. Nice. After finishing up the balloon quest, I also learned about pet battles in Stormwind and got our first battle pet, a great horned owl, which I fittingly named Well-Owled Machine. I then also bought a Stormwind tablet. On one side it offers the effect of giving extra reputation with the humans of Stormwind when doing Cataclysm dungeons, which will help since we need quite a hefty amount of factions with exalted reputation for some achievements. And on the other side the benefit is to have the transmog appearance. And I guess now is as good a time as any to talk about transmog. For those of you who haven't heard the term before, transmog is short for transmogrification, and it is a feature in World of Warcraft that lets you change the visual appearance of your gear while keeping its original stats. However, the catch is that you have to have obtained the appearance you want to put onto your character before, so you have to have looted the gear or got it some other way. So you have to have had it before, and that is why there are these so-called fashionista achievements, which you gain for getting 100 tabards, 100 head pieces, 100 arm pieces, etc. and so forth. It definitely is a cool feature, which also gives us the opportunity to gain more achievements. And that's what we're here for, right? Right? After this little side tangent, we went into Elven Forest mainly for the Explore Elven Forest achievement, and also the Complete All Quests in Elven Forest achievements is what I would say if Elven Forest had a Complete All Quests achievement, because for some reason the original WoW races do not have a Complete All Quests in your starting area achievement. However, I felt it would only be a fitting start to this series if we actually did all quests in Elven Forest, so here's a little montage for you. Hit the cue! After taking a little break, I suddenly had a new pet in my collection, the Corehound pup, which is cute, but I didn't know where it came from, until I realized I got it for activating the authenticator for this account, which is very important, since safety, especially for your digital data, is quite important. And then the Elven questing continued. In between I also did the fishing and cooking dailies in Stormwinds. There I then got the Cooking Award achievement for doing said cooking dailies. Whilst finishing up the quests in Elven Forest, Wine Shadow reached level 20, and therefore got level 20 and the Into the Wild Blue Yonder achievements. After some more dailies, I bought some game time, so we can go above level 20, which shortly after led us to gaining the 5 daily quests completed achievement. After getting the achievement for exploring all of Elven Forest finally, we also finished up all the quests by getting Hogger to jail. At this point I want to introduce you to a little section I want to do for these videos, the so-called feature quest section, which I want to do for every zone we are leveling in. And my featured quest is not a quest with Hogger, it's rather the quest line dealing with the McLurus versus the Stonefields families. It's a quest of rivaling families, hatred, but also love, and you should go check it out for yourselves. It's a little hard to get when you just level through a zone and do not read the text, but it's actually a quite funny story. With the quest and the exploring in Elven Forest completed, I then embarked on some pet battling, which yielded us the achievements Newbie, an Uncommon Fight, Just a Pup, and later That Was Close, Cat Fight, On Roll, and Taming the Wild. I mainly used the Corehound pup and our well-oiled machine for these battles. Since the Cataclysm Time Walking event was up, I also did a Cataclysm dungeon, which also gave us the achievement for that said dungeon. These time walking events allow you to do the older content like it was current content, and it gives you some rewards, achievements, and also some extra currency, which you can then use to buy other things as well. So we need to dip our toes into that as well at a later point. Then I explored a trading post and I was arguing with myself if I should buy the rainy day attire. I was not playing WoW when this was introduced, but I think I quite like the trading post, especially if you can rather easily earn the currency needed by just doing stuff in the world, which this series is all about, so this works very well for us. By the way, I did end up not buying the rainy day attire. I then spent quite some money to obtain the things needed to get the selfie stick toy. However, since we need to journey to Stranglethorn to obtain a missing item, I postponed this to a later point in time. Alright, let's see what we have collected so far. That's 23 achievements and 170 achievement points. Not bad for a start for a brand new account. We got 4 out of 35 character achievements, 3 out of 489 quest achievements, 1 exploration achievement, 0 delve, 0 PvP achievements, 1 dungeon and raids achievement, 2 profession achievements, 0 reputation achievements, 0 world event achievements, 9 pet battle achievements, and 1 collection achievement. Next episode we'll dive deeper into the Cataclysm zones, start hunting more achievements, and also do some quests on the Dragon Isles to obtain the option to do dragon riding, or sky riding as it's now called, and then go from there to obtain even more achievements. If you have any suggestions for achievements we should definitely go for, please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for joining me on this first leg of the achievement acquisition action. If you enjoyed the adventure, smash the like button, hit the subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment with the achievement you think is the funniest or the toughest to do. I will try to chase that in a future episode. Tell me if I missed something or if you noticed something that I can improve on. Quick side note, this is the first time for me doing a big scale video series like this on YouTube, so please bear with me as I try to improve. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. Until next time, keep up questing, keep up collecting, and may your achievement points overflow.